Okay, so at 8.1 you have sine of theta plus 20 degrees is equal to 0,577, and they ask you to solve for x. That's supposed to be theta. From 0 to 360 degrees. So wat jy daar moet doen is, jy moet eers gaan bepaal in watter twee kwadrante gaan dit wees. So remember, each of our three functions has two quadrants in which it is positive and two quadrants in which it is negative. So what is this one, positive or negative? Is that positive 0,577 or negative 0,577? It's positive, okay. So dan vra jy vir jouself, in watter twee kwadrante is sin positief? One and two, né? Okay. As hierdie net was sin theta, dan jy nou net hier geskryf theta is gelyk aan. But because that bracket is theta plus 20, you write theta plus 20. And in the first quadrant, it will just be the reference angle. But in the second quadrant, it will be equal to 180 degrees minus. Okay? In die tweede kwadrant werk ons mos met 180 grade minus. So now you get your reference angle. For that you say shift sin 0,577 and I get 35,24 degrees. Yes? Okay. So in die eerste kwadrant gaan ek net hom gelykstel. And I'm just going to say plus k times 360 because then we cover another part of the work as well. And here I have minus 35,24 plus k times 360. And remember, k is an element of all real numbers. All natural numbers. Yes, but then obviously you use n there and there. Okay, so hierdie een as ons hom gaan oplos is dit theta is gelyk aan 15,24 grade plus k of n maal 360 en hierdie ene theta is gelyk aan 124,76 grade plus k maal 360. Okay, and the reason why I put the plus k times thingy there is if it wasn't from 0 to 270, there's a chance that there might be an additional solution. Nee? As hulle vir jou gevra het vir die algemene oplossing, if they ask you for the general solution, then you leave your answer like that. With the plus k times whatever the period of that one is the general solution. But this one, they ask for a specific solution, want hulle soek spesifiek tussen 0 en 360. So dit wil sê theta is gelyk aan 15,24 grade of theta is gelyk aan dit. So you'll see 8.3, they ask for the general solution. So then you would have stopped there. Okay. 8.2 moet ons eers 'n bietjie werk doen. So jy moet sê die sin van 2 theta is gelyk aan minus wortel 3 op 2. I already wrote it in a fraction. Okay, and you do the same thing. So in which quadrants will sine be negative? 3 and 4. And instead of writing theta here, you write 2 theta. In 3, it'll be 180 plus. In 4, it'll be 360 minus. Nee? Okay, dan om jou verwysingshoek te kry met sin maak dit nie so groot verskil nie, maar met die ander doen dit. Moet jy hom sonder die teken intik. So you say shift sin and then you don't put negative 3 over 2, you just put 3 over 2. Okay, so then you get the reference angle is 60 degrees. And it's sine, so the period is 360 degrees. If it was tan, you would have said times n or k, or n or k times 180. Kom nou. Okay. Goed, en nou gaan ons hom moet oplos van hier af. So 180 plus 60 is 240, but then when I divide by 2, this one becomes 120, and this one becomes k times 180. So ek het eers daai twee bymekaar getel, dan kry ek 240, en toe het ek elke term gaan deel deur 2, om ontslae te raak van daai 2 voor die theta. Same here, it becomes 150 plus k times 180. Okay, en nou gaan ons moet veelvoude van 180 bytel of aftrek om seker te maak ons het al ons antwoorde. So they don't have to be in numerical order. So I'll write down both of these immediately. Dan stem julle saam as ek 0 maal 180 by hulle albei bytel, dan is 120 en 150 in die interval wat hulle hier vir my gevra het. But they're looking for between negative 180 and 180. Do you agree? Okay. Good. Now, if I add one multiple here, do you guys agree it will be beyond the given interval? But if I subtract one interval here, it will be within my interval. So, negative 60 is also one of my answers. Onthou, jy gaan stel nou in die plek van k of van n enige heelgetalwaarde in. So you substitute 0, 1, 2, then you're far beyond your upper limit of 180, and then you substitute 0, negative 1, negative 2, and see when you fall below your lower limit of negative 180. Okay, so if we substitute negative 1, then we're still within our limits, maar as ons nog 'n keer 180 gaan aftrek, then we're going to be far below. Okay, and same here. If I subtract one multiple of 180, the negative 30 is still within my limits. Okay. Grade 12, for 8.3, 8.4, and 8.5, I'm not going to do all of them with you, but all of them have something that you have to be on the lookout for when you are solving for equations. So I just want to get you started on each of them. Okay, so 8.3, and they're asking for the general solution. Okay, as ons nou by 8.4 en 8.5 uitkom, gaan julle sien ons werk elke keer met funksies tot die mag 1. So when you are working with sine or cos or tan to the power of 1, then you have to manipulate it. This one, because it has that square in, you have to know that you are going to use an identity. Okay? Because you can't solve for cos and sine squared at the same time. But you can write sine squared in terms of cos. So that's what you have to do. But you have to study how to identify these. So because we have two different functions, ons het 'n cos en 'n sin, en een van hulle het 'n kwadraat by. Weet jy gaan jou identiteit gebruik wat sê sin kwadraat plus cos kwadraat is 1. Okay, so in the place of that, I'm going to substitute my identity. And then this becomes a quadratic trinomial. Now, that, can you guys remember how to do that? Two fractions and you solve for the two separately. Okay, so hy het die moontlikheid om 4 verskillende oplossings te hê. Want jy gaan 2 uit die een hakie kry en 2 uit die ander hakie kry. Maar dit kan jy op jou eie tyd gaan doen. What sometimes can happen is, say for instance, this one won't have one like this, but say for instance you'll get cos theta is equal to 4. Now remember, a cos graph has a maximum value of 1. So this one will have no solution. Same for when it's negative 4, because a cos graph has a minimum value of negative 1. Nee? 'n cos grafiek draai mos bo by 1 en onder by min 1. So if it's above 1 or below negative 1, you just write no solution. En dit gebeur gewoonlik wanneer mens hierdie kwadratiese 3 termakies het. Okay, so just be aware specifically of this step. And then you just solve and carry on, which is more of the same that we did previously. 8.4. Okay, daar's meer as een manier om hierdie ene te doen. Die een ding waarop ek julle aandag wil vestig is, onthou daai ding is 'n getal. That is a number. So if you press 10 of 52 into your calculator, you will get an answer. It's a fraction, it's a number. Nee? So that's the one thing you can do. Or, and if we're looking at the next one, that's what you have to do there. Of jy kan sê, omdat dit tan en tan is, kan jy hulle verwyder. But you have to take into account the signs, because you still have to solve for it in 2 different quadrants. Okay, so dan moet jy gaan sê, in watter 2 kwadrante is tan positief? First and third. So then you can go say in the first quadrant, this will be true. And in the third quadrant, that will be true. Remember to add that. Okay. Omdat hulle dieselfde funksies aan albei kante is, mag jy dit doen. Because basically you're applying shift tan on both sides, if that makes sense to you guys. Nee? So jy verwyder die funksie aan albei kante.